Hey, good morning, everyone. There's a topic I'm going to speak about why skills intelligence is the new competitive advantage, right? And I'm not going to give a little bit of a gyan. I'm just going to tell a small story, right? The story which happened with me, the story which happened with iMocha, and how did we unleash this word of skills intelligence. I guess many of you would have heard this word, right? It's and definitely what does it help you to get a competitive advantage, right? How does it help you? Why this word is right really trending nowadays, and definitely a lot of unknowns around it. Okay, I don't have answers to it, by the way. Okay, so I'm as curious as you are to get more, I would say, known answers to it. So we'll do it together. I just want to make it more interactive. It's only a 20-minute session. The presentation is not much, right? I'll wrap it up very quickly. If you have any questions, anything to ask, please feel free to ask me. Again, I'm not an expert, but I guess somebody would be an expert in the crowd, right? Would answer your questions. So I'll just give you a brief history about iMocha, right? And where this skills intelligence as a word, as a problem, we surface to. Oh, I can just use this, right? Okay. So this is a brief history about iMocha, right? We started in 2015, 6 years in business, having 500 plus customers. Mainly started with talent acquisition in 2015. Where we were helping companies with a lot of talent acquisition solutions around skill assessment till 2020. What to do next? Got into talent development. Work with like large enterprises around the world, right from Telstra in Australia to Vanguard in New York, to Hexaware, Mindtree in India for the talent development solutions, to FedEx, Michelin's of the world, right? And we recently got a $14 million Series A funding, 2,500 plus skills assessments, a lot of things, right? While this was happening, right? Uh, global recognition, there was a video which was played around, like what, when Satya was asked about to talk about the most innovative company in the world, he said iMocha is building some skilling API for the world, right? So we were doing a lot of things around skills, but mainly around assessments. These are some customers whom we work with, interact with on a regular basis, right? Understand their skill problems. And this is the thing, right? We have heard about that 65% of the skills are going to change by the year 2030, right? And to stay competitive uh, in the market, you need to predict the skill fitness of your current employees. You need to know their skill goal of your organization. Where is your organization headed towards? So we reached out to all our customers and said, how is the skill data they are using to get a competitive advantage for them, right? Using talent acquisition or using talent development? And this is the answer we got, right? These are the different use cases where a skill data is used today, right? It starts from pre-joining program to a fresher training program to a client readiness program to upskilling, reskilling, performance appraisal, training effectiveness, and all these places, some intelligence of a skill is used. The outcome of a skill HR teams are trying to use, right? There is a customer, so two things happen. There's one customer we have in Australia, right? It's a large telecom company. And they came to us, we are using all the skills intelligence from iMocha, but we are only using it for the people or for the employees who have given an assessment. What if somebody was not given an assessment? We are stuck, right? The outcome is not coming. Second thing is, there is a large bank in South Africa. It is called as Amalgamated Bank of South Africa. And they had appointed Ben and company to do consulting for them to select a good skill assessment platform or skill intelligence tool. And they evaluated many tools for 6 months. Finally, they came up with a big report. And they suggested iMocha to them. So this is what we got from the customer, that this is how they are envisioning iMocha to integrate with Workday, to Cornerstone on Demand, and provide value to the organization. So the thing which struck to me is maybe either I'm thinking too small about iMocha, or I'm thinking very small from the product side, right? And the customer problems are much bigger, right? it's not only about an assessment, it's about the entire skill intelligence. And somewhere we need to evolve from saying skill assessment to a skill intelligence, right? Because there are a lot of use cases over here, as I showed you, right? Sorry. Oh, it's back. So there are a lot of use cases over here. And if you have to provide amazing intelligence to all the use cases, you need to have the most important thing is a skill inventory of your entire organization. And how can you have a skill inventory? In a much easier way, rather than making every employee to give an assessment, right? And that's how the journey started. So these were the problems actually I faced. So after running this business for last 6 years, building a product, right? Somewhere you think, oh, you have done a lot. And then after talking to the enterprise customers and understanding their problems, maybe we realize we have just scratched the surface, right? It's a tip of the iceberg. Maybe the iceberg around skills is much bigger. And the problem is, I was talking to a large enterprise customer yesterday in Bangalore, and we were talking to the entire talent team. Almost 8 of them were in the meeting. And they have built multiple solutions over a period of time. It was a workforce analytics team. And they said an interesting thing, right? Previously, they would say the skill taxonomy would change over 2-3 years. Nowadays, the skill taxonomy is changing every quarter. Whatever we put in and do it, after 3 months, things are changing. Rapid change around, right? We just saw Microsoft is launching Viva Learning, right? So everybody now, there'll be a craze around Viva Learning, right? Many people even don't know what it is, right? But then it would become the most important trend for next year, right? And then you expect your employees, your HR teams to communicate to everyone that Viva Learning is very important. So this is the problem. What is the solution? So the solution, what we thought is, can we build a skill inventory? Okay. So something which is in orange color is something iMocha is already doing it today, a very hard way, because to create a skill assessment for multiple skills across multiple industry, you have to really invest a lot, right? Something can be done in an automated and easy way. So we thought there is a social data, right? For technology companies, a lot of people are there on LinkedIn, GitHub or Stack Overflow, okay? And you can do resume passing easily. But if you go to a bank, if you go to a manufacturing company, if you go to a logistic company like a FedEx, I guess bank employees will not be there on LinkedIn that much, right? So their social data may be different, or you may only get some quantum of the social data. Then there's internal systems data, right? You have data from the project history, training data, certification data, and there is a user input data, which is very valuable. Just an example, like you're talking to an employee and a manager, and the manager is the doctor, right? The employee is the patient. If the patient itself doesn't give the right user inputs, right? Doctor cannot do a lot of the diagnosis further. So whatever you gather from the systems, if you don't have enough thing for our employees to give the user inputs, you cannot get the right skill inventory. I was talking to somebody who is the global workforce head for TCS, and he gave me a very nice insights. I asked him, sir, how can I get an employee to give that data and that get user input? And he said, you don't have to. And I asked why? He said, in a B2B, always remember, whenever you create a software, only think about where you can reach. You can reach to the business user. So example, in a CRM, he gave me an analogy. No sales guy really is happy to put in the data into the CRM. Neither they are disciplined. But a sales leader, if he is disciplined, he will make sure every sales guy puts in the data. So you think, what is the business value you're going to provide to the business users? Is it a CHRO? Is it a L&D head? Is it a business user, right? And what value he needs. And if that value is big enough because of your skill inventory, he's going to make sure his business unit will fill that user input data. So you have to create that enough value for the business user, right? So this is the way you can capture skill inventory, right? In a easy way. What you do with this data? Once you have the skill inventory, how are you going to use this data from the intelligence perspective? Okay, these are my thoughts, okay? I'm not saying something, and you can debate, you can question me. This is an individual skill matrix of John, right? And let's consider he's an enterprise architect role. Whatever data I captured from, I've just put it into the 4 segments. Social data, internal system, user input, and is it validated? Now let's see the first skill, business modeling. Everywhere it's yes, yes, yes. But system is still saying this data is not internally validated. Versus there is a business process design where the social says no, he has not updated that anywhere. But internal system says he has worked on that project. And the user input says, I know that, but is it not validated? Versus an application design where everything is a green, and versus the last line of project management where everything is a no. An active period, like I may have many skills which I've acquired over a period of last 3 years and 5 years, but I guess the most active skill would be which I have for the last 2 years, right? Something would get outdated, and I may be good at that, right? Do I know left-hand driving? I know left-hand driving. But since I guess COVID, I've not gone to US, right? So maybe I'll, like next month I'm in US, so that the way I drive left-hand driving, it's not going to be that easy. It's going to take time for me to like just get it. Maybe I have to upskill or reskill a little bit of my skills to how to drive it, right? So how active is the period? So this is the data which can be used. How this data reflects, right, is you can take this data from the skill inventory, put it into iMocha, okay? For every industry, there is a skill taxonomy and ontology, right? And there is a market intelligence. Now, what is the market intelligence of the data? The market intelligence of the data can say, if you want to build a capability into data and insights, right? There are some people in your organization, if they have this particular skill in statistics and all, they can be easily upskilled and reskilled over there. Maybe they are the right people to do that, right? So if you have a market intelligence with the right skill taxonomy and the skills ontology, with the skill inventory data, and do some crunching in the orange layer, right? You can have a one platform for your executives, for your CHROs, for your talent leaders to take those all decisions where I showed those 11 use cases, right? So this is a concept of skills intelligence with some data points. Again, this is something which we are doing for a few of our customers right now, right? So as a beta product, right? Because as I told, right, from a skill assessment to evolve to your skills intelligence, a product company cannot do it till the time we don't have the right inputs from the customers. So the right pain points start from the customer. The problems start with intelligent people like you, right, who have a lot of gray hair as well, okay, in the industry, spend a lot of time, okay, and then those inputs, we can use it to build something, right? I would say for iMocha today, that can be easy when I first built the product in 2015 versus what I'm doing today, because today I have an luxury to talk to 100 enterprises, to their CHROs, to their L&D heads, to their talent leaders, to their business users easily. I can get onto conversations with them, talk with the problems with them, get on the POCs with them. That helps to kind of expedite the entire product development lifecycle, right? And then you build something which is more of, I would say, with the customer, rather than you building something in isolation and then trying to do a POC with the customer. So everybody would have heard this name, Josh Bersin, right? It doesn't need an explanation. Somebody asked me what is the best resume once, and I had replied, if somebody comes with and just says on a resume, the name is written Swami Vivekanand, or if the name is written Steve Jobs, right, or a Satya Nadella, that's enough, right? So sometimes 2 words is a best resume, where you don't have to explain anything. So Josh Bersin says skills taxonomies and intelligence platform are the next big thing and this is just going to evolve, right? And this is Josh Bersin's ideal or the ultimate architecture goal if any organization would like to create a skill inventory or a skills intelligence layer. So you need to take data from so many different systems, put into it, and then your taxonomies and your ontologies need to work on it, right? So there can be data from the LXPs, the content vendors, purchase taxonomy. It was very happy when I saw this diagram, because if you see in the purchase taxonomy, there is EMSI, Burning Glass, and NASCOM, right? So maybe Josh Bersin also, when he presents his data, he's referring to NASCOM. So somewhere India as a talent pool is on a big market in this world, right? And we have a big place in the world to solve this problem of talent. Recruitment, ATS models, and operational models. So this is an ultimate architecture goal. This is what you get as an output, right, at an individual level. Now, why this output is interesting? This is nothing but a skills benchmarking, right? You would have seen it many places. I will just tell you a story around this. Like, There are two companies. One is Tata Motors, who is trying to create vehicles with clean energy in India. And there's another company, Maruti, which is tied up with Toyota, which is trying to create hybrid cars. Again, the same problem they are solving, fuel efficient, clean energy vehicles. But a skill, what is the skill currently they have, both the companies? And a skill goal of both companies are different. Tata Motors is saying we want to create electric vehicles. So their skill goal is maybe to have a lot of talent around the electric mobility. Versus Maruti wants to develop people on hybrid mobility. And maybe Toyota in the future may have hydrogen vehicles. So the same problem is getting solved in the industry, right? But your company has a different average, and your individual, where does he is lacking with that, can help you with the right training need identification. Will help you with the right things to give the internal mobility, right? There are two people, let's say I'm there and she's there. I'm with 5 years of experience in a particular skill, and the company tells me a nudge on Microsoft Teams that you do these courses in Viva Learning and do this. There's a lot of opportunity within the company for this skill. And as per your data, you may be easily upgraded to this. I don't do it. She's with 2 years experience and she does it, right? What happens after 1 year? When appraisal comes, I'm the right person to give the right appraisal, or she's the right person? Is it the experience matters or the skill matters, right? Somebody in the morning said, right? The new skills, the youngsters are better in doing than a lot of new skills, right? So with the right data, when you put this data across 50,000 employees, across 100,000 employees, I'm talking to somebody in Capgemini at a global level, and they have like more than 200,000 employees, and all this data number and crunching, right? They're doing that, struggling, we are working with them, right? So when you have a scale of anything more than 5,000 people, and you're trying to do anything around this, you would require a lot of intelligence. You would require a lot of tools. You'll require a lot of systems, a lot of integrations. This is something for a tech company. Sorry, I'm a techie at heart, so I can put anything around the tech very quickly, okay? So this is a skills proficiency data for tech organizations, right? But we are also working with Ericsson, and we are also working with Telstra and Vanguard. So we work with 3 largest telecom companies in the world: Telstra in Australia, Ericsson in Europe, Jio in India. And that telecom data, the way we are seeing that telecom data is very different. And the skill data and how they are growing, right? So you need to know what are the top skills in the company at any given moment of a time on a click of a button at what a business unit and where it is growing. This is something at an individual level, right? This is just a product snapshots. It tells you what were you in the last 6 months, or to what skills, what badges you earned, what are the top trending skills. So something on the solutioning side. This is interesting. Why skills intelligence to get a competitive advantage? So I've just tried to put it in one slide, okay? What a competitive advantage everybody would get. What is an employee? So competitive advantage for him is a strategic outcome, is a self-directed career trajectory. For a team leaders and managers, a role optimization and delivery planning. For a workforce management, it would be accurate demand-supply match. For HR business partner, it would be a career advancement strategy. And sales and business development, it would be differentiated market positioning because you have better skills. And CXOs and executives, it would be encourage continuous learning culture with a very targeted, identified coaching or the courses, right? So there can be multiple things, and you have to think when you say, I want to provide a competitive advantage, it is not only at a company level. It is at an individual level, it is at a business unit level, it is at a geographical level. You have to think and come up with that data. And once the business is ready, that what is my vision of skills for the company in the next 3 years, where I am going to supposed to go, right? Then all these business values you'll have to write, and then I guess the entire journey starts. Will every company do something like this in the coming years? Yes, because the way skill taxonomy is changing and the way it's evolving, companies need more intelligence around it. So that's it from my side. These are my coordinates. If anybody wants to discuss anything around this, feel free to ping me on WhatsApp. That's the fastest I respond. Emails, I don't respond very quickly, right? But then happy to discuss with you anything about your industry, your problems, your challenges, and I can have a one-on-one discussion with you. I usually spend a lot of time on Friday, at least talking to 5 customers. I don't work on Friday, right? And that's where a lot of intelligence comes out. Thank you.